Welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United draw 0-0 with Wolverhampton Wanderers in the FA Cup, and we do get a replay. But I've got to say, I can't wait to see the fan cams tonight, because I really want to get a grasp of what the fans who've travelled and do spend their hard-earned money to go and watch United really think about that performance today. Because look, we haven't lost, but we were never going to win that game. I thought that second half was absolutely one of our worst performances under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we've seen this happen a lot, and it happened a lot up until November, where we'd be okay in the first half, and second half you wondered what was going on in the dressing room because we were awful. And second half we were awful. I know Rashford nearly scored, but if Wolves had lost that game, they would have kicked themselves. There's no way we deserved to win that game. We were totally and utterly bossed out of it tactically in that second half, and we don't want a replay. So what I would say this is, we do not want a replay, right? The last thing we want to replay, we've got Man City to play twice in January, we've got an injury crisis, we've got a load of league games to play, we've got the Europa League kicking in February. We don't want an FA Cup third round replay, and we've got one, which means it's another midweek game for United to have to play. We don't need it, we don't want it, and Sir Alex Ferguson, when these situations used to arise, in the last 10 minutes he'd be like, I'd rather lose or win. I don't want to draw it. And he'd go 3 at the back, 4 up front, and he'd think, we'll win it or we'll lose it, because I don't want a replay. I don't think United were playing for a draw. I just think it exposed the fact that tactically we haven't got a bloody clue. Because there is, what were we trying to do to win that game today? Nothing, because we have no plan B. It's the same football every game. Sit back, try and hit a team on the break. That's all we were trying to do. And Ollie did not want a replay. He just doesn't know how to win a bloody game. And Nuno is yet another manager that I would put down on the list that schooled Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's getting quite to be a long list. First half, he sat back and said, you have the ball. Second half, from minute 1, they went, we're not going to sit back, we're going to press you. And we never got on the ball after that. We never got on the ball. They won every second ball. They pressed us right up high on the pitch. I thought the defence played okay for United tonight, to be fair, because the midfield and the attack were shite second half. To be fair to the attackers, they had nothing to live off. But you had people at half-time saying, I actually thought Pereira and Matic low-key did quite well. They did low-key quite well because Wolves let us have the ball in the first half. Second half, Nuno changed the tactics and went, we're showing them way too respect. We'll wait all day for them to carve a chance open. They're not going to let us hit on the break. We're going to have to push them high up the pitch. So they changed their tactics at half-time and absolutely dominated second half. And this is another manager, yet again, who has tactically changed things in a game while Ollie just sits there doing the same old thing, arms folded. Oh, I really hope that lucky chance falls to Rashford, or Greenwood produces something out of nothing, or they make a defensive mistake. Because that's all we got. And what is tiring is the fact that watching Manchester United, and look, no one's going anywhere. This is our club. We support Manchester United. We're going to continue to support Manchester United. But I'll tell you what, I bet you can't even fill one hand over the last year with games that you've been excited watching Manchester United. And when I say excited, I mean when your team is sustained attacking the opposition and you feel a goal is coming and you're having shots here, there and everywhere, and it's great to watch. I don't even know if we've done that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I bet you can't name 5 times in a year. And I bet loads of clubs can. PSG was a smash and grab. Chelsea was a smash and grab, even though we beat them 4-0. We don't get hold of the ball and cause teams problems. And we certainly don't get hold of the ball and entertain our fans. It's dull. And Manchester United, with all the resources they've got and all the money they've got, should be doing far, far, far better than this. I'm happy we're still in the FA Cup. We didn't do enough to lose the game, I don't think, but we certainly didn't do enough to win it. And I just found that atrocious. That second half was atrocious, tactically ridiculously bad. And positive people will say we're still in it. Stop moaning. People who are Ollie out, as they are in the live comments, are going to say Ollie out. But I'm not. It's not about that. It's not. If we'd lost the game, we'd lost the game. If we'd nicked it 1-0, I would have said the same thing. That was just a very poor performance from United, particularly in the second half. But even in the first half, when we had all the ball and it was pretty, how many chances did we create again? Nothing. Nothing in the first half. We didn't have a shot on target in the first half. Second half, Rashford gets in from a good pass from Greenwood, but that just shows you we have got players who can score goals. But you've got to get the ball forward. And I thought, I'm going to give my player ratings in a minute. Matic and Pereira may as well have gone off for an early bath at half time because they did sod all second half. Wolves midfield won every second ball and moved the ball quickly, and Matic and Pereira got swamped. But in many ways, I'm quite happy because if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or you're the board of Manchester United, you've now got another game you've got to get 11 players out for in January. He hasn't got the squad to do that. Also, he can't roll out and go, Pereira and Matic have shown that they can play in midfield today. This is Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Wolves are in 7th. They're not a top 4 side. They dominated Matic and Pereira. And so you're telling me that midfield's good enough to get us in the top 4 this season. It's not good enough. If they've watched that game today, and we didn't lose, and I'm happy that we didn't lose, and I'm happy that we've got a replay, but the one thing they've got to take from that is get your bloody money out and buy some midfielders, because that midfield is crap. It's absolutely crap. Give them the ball and no pressure like the first half and they'll play a 5-yard pass forward. But the minute they get pressed, awful. Pereira was shit second half and so was Matic. And United have got to sign midfielders because tactically we are getting absolutely annihilated. And I think in the second half it's very unfair to be critical of Gomez. And don't get me started on Gomez. Chong, Rashford, Greenwood, James. It's very hard to be critical of them because they got nothing. How many long balls were we hitting in the first 10 minutes of the second half just to get beyond Wolves' press in the midfield? It was awful. It was awful second half. And, I don't know, as a United fan, I don't know what we're meant to think anymore. Rio Ferdinand has just said that United played very well second half. Well, look, Rio Ferdinand, I'm sorry, mate. What are you doing? You're a respected pundit. You're a legend of this football club, and you're talking out your arse. We get that you want Ollie to do well, but you can't say that with a straight face. That was one of the worst second halves I've seen from United. We absolutely got dominated on the ball. Maybe he's talking about defensively. I thought Maguire was probably my man of the match. Well, no, I think actually, smash a like on the video if Romero was your man of the match, because I think Romero's got to be man of the match, because that save he made in the first half, that was a goal. It was an amazing save, and if they'd scored that, we'd be out of the cup. So we probably should be grateful to Romero, because Romero probably has kept us in the cup. So actually, I think if we're being absolutely honest, Romero was man of the match with Maguire and Williams pushing him for it. But smash a like if you agree with me on one of those three. But what is Rio? I don't know whether Rio said that, but what the bloody hell is he on? I don't want to be saying this, but that second half was atrocious. He didn't even get schooled. He got sent back to the womb. It was that bad. Nuno literally changed his tactics from the first half to the second half, and Ollie sat on his arse for 45 minutes in the second half, not knowing how to respond to a team that was pressing him high up the pitch. It was awful. And he didn't do anything off the bench. He just went, Marcus, you go and play high up and we'll try and nick a goal. Fred came on and went, fucking hell, I wanted a rest today. I'm getting absolutely swamped by Moutinho and Neves. And then, the best of all, Delo's been out for 4 months. Chong gets injured. He brings Delo on instead of Gomez. I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not really. I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm all about the youth. I'm going to start Juan Mata, who's 46 in the midfield. And I'm going to bring Delo on for Gomez, who when we need an attacking intent. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. And let's not forget as well, if Dendoncker knew how to head the ball, we would have lost 1-0 anyway. He headed it onto his hand. So Wolves probably did enough to win it for me. Lindelof, man of the match. You having a laugh? I thought he was okay. Did you not see him get absolutely torn apart by that kid in the first half? I didn't think Lindelof played well. I thought Maguire played well. I thought Romero kept us in the game. And I thought Brandon Williams played well. But we'll do the player ratings. Let's do the player ratings. My player ratings then. So I'm going to give Romero an 8 because I thought the save was absolutely superb. I just want to say on Rio Ferdinand, he's a United fanboy who... and when I say United fanboy, he's a Glazers fanboy. He just wants a job at United because he's talking rubbish. He's talking absolute rubbish to say that second half was good. And he knows it. He knows that was bad second half, but he just won't say anything negative, which is fine. It's his opinion. But, it's sad that people actually believe that was a good second half. But If you do, you'll sleep well tonight. Ashley Young, 6, average performance for me. Lindelof, 6, average. Maguire, 7. I thought Maguire played really well for United today. I did, and I think he was carrying an injury as well. Brandon Williams, 7. I thought Brandon Williams played well, but what I would say is this. I like to see both sides, and I guarantee you, if Luke Shaw had played that performance today, the same performance that Brandon Williams played, nobody would be giving Luke Shaw any credit. They'd say Traore got crosses in all the time against him, and he did. Traore did get loads of crosses in against Brandon Williams, but I still think Brandon Williams had a good game, so I'd give him a 7. But it wasn't some world-class performance. Watch it back. Traore got a lot of crosses in. But I think Brandon Williams did well. I think it was a big test for him today. He is a young lad, and I thought he did well, so I'd give him a 7. I thought him and Maguire were our 2 best outfield players. And I'll give Romero the man of the match because he made a brilliant bloody save, to be honest with you. Matic, a 3. I thought second half he was atrocious. I thought first half he did okay, but let's be honest, first half Wolves were playing, just let us have the ball, and it was being played at a snail's pace as per usual, which is what we like. So as soon as they pressed that midfield, he just disappeared. Absolutely awful from Matic. Pereira, I'd give a 4 because I thought he did some good passes in the first half, but again, he got swamped in the second half as well. Chong, 4. What did he do? What did he do? James, 5. And they're getting low scores because what did they do? Second half pulled everybody's score down. It was so bad, but they were starved of oxygen, to be fair. Mata, I'd give a 6. I don't think Mata did too bad. When he got on the ball, he looked to play a pass. You can see he's got the brain, but there's not enough going on around him. He's got 2 static midfielders behind him. He's got Chong on his right, James on his left. It was an average performance from Mata. And Greenwood, I would give a 6 as well. I thought in the first half at times he looks a real danger, but he didn't get in the game. He played that good assist to Rashford, which would have been an assist, and he looks lively on the ball. But you've got to judge a player on what they do, and I don't think he got the opportunity to do enough today. And I would give Ollie 5 out of 10 for Ollie. First half was okay in the context of his general management career. It was more of the same. Defensively looked quite solid, moved the ball around quite nicely without creating anything. I thought dominated possession, no shots on goal. It was average in the first half, but second half, it's one of the worst halves of football I've seen from United. It was submissive, it was lacklustre. We never strung 2 passes together. We never won hardly any second balls. We got bullied, we got dominated. We just defended quite well, but as a team, I thought that was an atrocious second half from Manchester United. Joe Dawson says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that we'll bring someone in? How are the board so naive to see that we're lacking in the central midfield department? We have got to sign players, Joe. We have got to sign players. It's as simple as that. I don't see how anybody... I don't. You know what? Actually, let's be honest. There is no United fan sat watching this show or sat watching at home or whatever they're watching going, we don't need to sign midfielders. We don't need to sign a striker. We're in the middle of the season and we are absolutely screwed. Pogba's out. McTominay's out. Fred's the only decent midfielder we've got. Matic is awful. Pereira can't play there. You're then relying on kids, which is unfair. If they get back, Garner and Levitt, you can't chuck them into that. So there is absolutely no way on God's earth that we cannot sign midfielders in this January transfer window, apart from the fact we're run by idiots. So I can never, I like that statement. Until someone is holding a shirt up, I won't believe it, because we desperately do need to sign midfielders, but will we sign midfielders? I don't know. I mean, we do need an attacker as well. I mean, can I just say this? In fairness to Chong, I know I've given him a 4, and he wasn't very good. He wasn't very good today. I've only given Chong a 4, but can I just say this? He hasn't played a game for United since November. What's this all about then? Because if you look at the bench over the last few weeks, there's been numerous times where if Shaw's played, William's been on the bench, Young's been on the bench, and Wan-Bissaka's been on the bench. We've had 3 fullbacks on the bench a lot over the last few weeks. And a lot of people have said, well, why would you not have Gomez or Chong on the bench? And we've not done it. And then today, he plays Chong out of the blue. Like, he's not been on the bench, he's not been part of the first team squad for weeks, and today he starts him. And that's just strange behaviour as well. And obviously there's something going on with Chong and Gomez. I think Gomez is gone. I think if he's not getting on in a game like this, then, you know, he's definitely gone, isn't it? But we're meant to be about the future, people. But yeah, I thought it was odd with Chong, not seen him for weeks, and then he starts a game of football. Pereira looked like Jesse Lingard today, says James Cat. Pereira's just not a midfielder, and turning him into midfielder, it's not going to happen. I'm worried about that game against Man City on Tuesday, because we're going to play Fred and Matic, or we're going to play Fred and Matic, aren't we? And I think that the way Man City play, they will annihilate us, and that worries me a lot. But football basic, when your teammate tries to head down a long ball, help him by being near him. No United player does that. Tells how naive this coaching staff is, says Rahul V. How many times have we had no shots on target, says Jack Austin. Did we have no shots on target today then? I suppose we didn't, because that hit the bar with Rashford, didn't it? I didn't know that we hadn't done that. Mojo says, Mark, how is it that everyone on this planet can see that we need signings and our board cannot? How can Ollie say he's happy with what he's got, or if the right player comes along, what the heck is going on? And Ernest Taberi says, Silva missed an open goal, but no one cares because they always create 5 more chances. Their midfielders, time and again, will always find the ball over the top. I'm worried about Tuesday. I am worried about Tuesday. But look, Solskjaer will come out after the game and he will say, you know, it's a tough place to come to, Wolves. I'm really happy with a point, you know, even though it's a cup game. We had 0 shots on target, says Truth Teller. I mean, that's shit. It really is crap. But this is what I mean. I mean, look, I don't want to say this. I'm happy. I'm actually happy that we're still in the tournament because, you know, Wolves at home, you would hope that we can knock them out and then progress to the next round. I mean, why not? I think Wolves away is a tough tie. But it was never going to be easy today, but I never expected us to play as bad as that. I think that, you know, I don't want to say this, but when you're hearing people saying we played well today, but we've had no shots on target, I mean, if anybody stayed awake through that second half, how can Ollie come out and say that that was a good performance? It was awful. And it really does reflect badly on the coaching. I mean, there was a couple of things I wanted to bring up as well. Zonal marking, it can work, but actually it's a stupid thing to do. Zonal marking is basically you mark a space and you don't mark a player. And we're doing it off corners. And we're conceding a lot of goals off corners. Wolves nearly scored twice from a corner in the first half. And with zonal marking, if you're Harry Maguire, you mark a space, you don't mark a player. But the problem is, yes, Harry Maguire is very good in the air. But if someone like Raul Jimenez, and he wasn't on in the first half, wants to go where Harry Maguire is because the ball's going to go there, but he runs from 5 metres away. He's got a 5 metre run and jump, and Harry Maguire's jumping from a static. This is why zonal marking is a bloody nightmare. I used to play centre-back in my younger days. You'd never zonal mark. You'd man mark, because if you man mark, okay, you've got to get switched on, but you're jumping with the same ball with the same momentum. We're zonal marking. That is, to me, pub football tactics. And I think across Manchester United, where is the experience in the coaching staff? It's like there is nobody with any bloody experience in there, and everything just looks so naive. We can't create chances. We had a lot of ball in the first half, but we created no chances. So you may as well just let Wolves have the ball and just try and counter-attack the whole game. We had a lot of ball in the first half, but there's nothing happening. And a lot of this is coming from the coaching. Ernest Tabari, we've read that. How many times have we had no shots? Pereira looked like Jesse Lingard. I think Ollie is not capable to play a different formation due to not having a proper number 10. Matic, Mata, Pereira, Chong out. Now give Ollie money in January, says Daniel Ledson. You're wrong because Williams attacks and Shaw doesn't, says John G. I'm not wrong. What I said is that Luke Shaw, if he'd had that game today, and I mean the exact game that Brandon Williams played, everyone would have said Luke Shaw was shit because Traore got loads of crosses in. The reason we're saying Brandon Williams played well is because he's a young lad and he's got a lot of potential, but Traore did get a lot of crosses in, so we shouldn't go running away saying Brandon Williams was amazing, because actually Traore got the better of him a lot, but I thought it was a brilliant test for him, hence I gave him a high mark. On a scale, I would have preferred to see Gomez as a centre attacking midfielder, says Anis Nazim. Mark, surely we need to just sign players, says Jack Chance Podcast. So when plan A doesn't work, Ollie tells the team to play crappier so that plan A will work. Great ideas from great minds. I love Ollie, but it's time for Poch before he's taken, says Mr. Restocks. Everyone at this club should donate this week's wages to charity. We are a disgrace in football, says Chikorito Hernandez. I think with United, if plan A doesn't work, just keep trying plan A. I think that, look, some people just watch football for enjoyment. Some people watch football and analyse it. Some people watch football and totally go to town on the tactical side of things. For me, if you are one of those people, today for Manchester United was a real eye-opener as to what is going wrong with the coaching, because Wolves played in a totally different way in the first half to the second half. First half, we had all the ball. Wolves sat deep and tried to hit us on the break, but we weren't going far enough forward for Wolves to hit us on the break. We were just pissing about with the ball around like the halfway line. So Wolves were never getting the opportunity to hit us on the break because we weren't getting the ball into the box. So Wolves at half-time obviously went, look, sitting back and letting them have the ball, we're not getting the chance to hit them on the break anyway. We may as well just go and get the ball. So second half, they just went, sod that. They're not having the ball. We're going to press. They won all the second balls. They went and pressed the life out of us. Pereira and Matic may as well have emigrated. They were that useful. And they just dominated the ball. And they changed the way they played from first half to second half like that. What did Ollie do? Nothing. Played the same way in the first half as he did in the second half. He didn't respond to a team coming out and playing a different way. It was the same thing. We don't respond. And this is why so many fans say we've got one way of playing, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if you look at this game again, first 7 minutes, we pressed up really high. Same thing happened against Arsenal. We pressed really well in the first 7 minutes and then dropped off. And the same thing happened today. We obviously want to press, but we haven't got the fitness levels to do it. I'd take Adama Traore and a midfielder in January, says Peter Geraghty. Got no chance of it happening, though. Absolutely no chance. But anyway, like I said, I look forward to the fan cams, because I think that's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out, how fans who are at the ground actually thought Manchester United played today. A few people asking about when the replay would be. I'm just having a quick look now, because I think we should more or less be able to figure out when it would be. January fixtures. Well, we've got Man City on Tuesday. Saturday, we've got Norwich. The following Sunday, we've got Liverpool, and then the Wednesday, we've got Burnley, and then on that weekend, it's the FA Cup 4th round. So we're going to be playing a game every few days again, because we'll play Man City, Norwich, and then midweek we'll be playing Wolves a few days before we play Liverpool, and then a few days after we play Burnley. So loads and loads of games in January again. We want to be signing players, and we've got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of games again. But I don't think we were playing for a draw today. I just don't think we had the nous to win the game. Please do smash a like on the video. If you are watching, we've got 13,000. If you all hit the like, we'll get 2,000 likes easy, just like that. Thanks everyone for watching. I just want to say to all you lot, thank you as well, because, you know, it's not easy watching United at the moment. It's not easy watching United. Do you think Man United will buy Cavani? Says Brian Kike. I mean, look, Cavani would improve us. I'm not a massive fan of Cavani, but we do need players. I've not watched loads of that Raul Jimenez, but I do like him, and we won't get him, but I do like him. I think he's exactly the sort of player United need. He's quicker than I think. He's strong in the air. We won't go and get him. He's exactly who we should get, but we won't go and get him. Thanks everyone for watching. Fan cams are going to be coming in very soon. Very interested to see what Ricky and everyone else has got to say. Smash a like on the video. I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to be putting a video up tomorrow morning, but check out the fan cams tonight. And well done to all of you lot for sitting through that second half. Atrocious. Ollie's talking now. He's smiling again. I'm out. I don't want to say too much. He's smiling.